Hello, my name is Matt Reeves, and I'm going to be asking you a few questions this evening, just kind of hopefully get to know each other and see if there's anything I can, help you out with. So,
Okay.
I was going to say, let's just start out with some, basic get to know you questions. Let's start out. What's your full legal name?
Rebecca Hopper,
Okay. Rebecca, what is your date of birth?
October 7th, 2008.
Okay. So that I believe makes you 16, is that correct?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And you identify as female, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just checking off stuff off of the initial referral that was sent in, so just double checking. Um, could you maybe tell me why you were referred today? Who was it that referred you to come see us, and what do you think their goal is for you for this session?
I was referred by my new job with the government. I don't think that I need to be seen. Um, I mean, they already knew everything about me when they hired me, so I don't see the point of this assessment. Um,
Oh,
so
okay.
they were concerned about some things that I've done in my past. I witnessed the death of both of my parents. Um, my mom died of cancer. Very sad. We were very close. Um, very upsetting. Yeah.
Jane.
Um, my dad was more um, hmm, instant. Yeah. We went to the lake house,
Mhm.
and my dad was trying to get me to bond with my soon to be new stepmother and her son. Um, wasn't really feeling that. But then some Nazis decided they were gonna come into the house and looking for some key.
Oh,
And yeah, my dad trying to be a noble man, didn't want me to give up information, trying to protect me. And in the process of that, they killed him. So then I had to kill those guys. I mean,
oh,
fair's fair. So yeah, there's like five of them, I think.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, an eye for an eye. I killed them.
Oh,
And then my soon to be stepmom didn't want to take care of me after that, so I went to some foster homes and bounced around from there. And I didn't really trust the foster care system. I don't think anybody knows how to take care of me necessarily. So I ran away several times. I'm able to take care of myself. I'm pretty smart. I got rid of those Nazis. I think I know what I'm doing. I have some self defense. Um, I did have to steal some things to get by, but
okay.
I mean, who doesn't have to? So, yeah. Then when I was old enough to get hired, I got a job at a diner, um, and making some legal money and stuff. And around that time, I started living with this nice lady, Miss Elena Kahn. Um, I really appreciated her. She treated me like an adult. She wasn't like my foster parents. So it was really nice. We had a really good relationship. She understood me.
Okay.
So, um, but then she died. Witnessed a lot of death. Um, so and then I had to you know, get the people that did that to her.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
um,
Um, wow. It sounds like a lot happened in a fairly short amount of time. Um, I did want to mention before we do get too far in it, and I appreciate your open honesty, um, and telling, what happened. But I do want you to know that this is a confidential session. Anything we do go over, unless it's a danger to yourself or others, I will not disclose. Um, the referral did inform me of some of what you had just said. So, like I said, I appreciate the honesty, and if we keep rolling and you're just straight up with me, then we'll get this done relatively quickly. But I wanted to, I guess, touch back on you had mentioned your mother first, and
Hmm.
uh, sounded like you guys were really, really close. Could you maybe tell me a little bit about your mom and what happened uh, before her passing? And I also wanted to ask, is it okay if I call you Becky?
Yeah, yeah, I'd prefer Becky actually. And I'm not too worried about confidentiality. I mean, my job sent me here. They knew what was gonna come out. What's done is done, and you know, I don't think anything would come with it out of this. So, um, but with my mom, yeah, my childhood was great with her. We were really close, and then she got sick when I was about 10 or 11.
Oh,
Um, and then she passed away when I was 12.
you're
I
so
loved her dearly, and yeah.
um so when she did pass away, was your father still in the picture at that time? I know you had mentioned the tragedy that happened about a year later. Were they together or?
Yeah, my parents were together. I felt like we had a good relationship until that point, but it was kind of distant. Uh, and then after she passed away, and my dad started dating his girlfriend. It just felt like he was trying to replace her and move on real quick. I didn't really appreciate that. And then it started feeling like he didn't listen to me, and he was distracted when I would try and talk with him, and you know, I really felt like he cared and he listened to me the day at the lake house, uh, shortly before he passed away. But prior to that, it was strained.
Okay, okay. Well, what changed that day at the lake house? You said you felt like he was actually listening that day. So what was the difference there?
Mm, I think just wanting to make sure that I was safe. Like I got to see, that he cared. He knew that I was there and didn't rat me out. And then whenever they did find me, he still encouraged me to run away and not give in to these people and not do what they wanted.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they killed him for that. So
Uh, I even reading the initial referral information, shoot, I couldn't even imagine witnessing that. If you're comfortable in telling me a little bit about what led up to that, how what happened to your dad?
they shot him.
Okay,
Yeah,
who is they?
the Nazis. At least I assume they were Nazis. They had Nazi branding on them. Uh, I don't recall them ever specifically saying that they were, but they had the tattoos and things.
Oh, okay.
Um, so yeah, they just shot him right where I could see. Yeah,
So you witnessed firsthand them doing that.
yep. And then I witnessed their deaths firsthand by my hand.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, I did see that in the referral. But how I guess the next question is how that made you feel when they from what I read were coming after you. So how'd that make you feel? And then what was running through your head when they did start to attack?
Um, I mean, nervous, I guess. I mean, I don't want to die.
Well,
But I also felt a lot more intelligent than them, this was my place, this was my lake house. Who are they? Just strangers coming in and um they don't know the layout. I felt very confident, and I was able to rig up a lot of stuff to um trap them, slow them down, have the upper hand. And then, each time I had this gratification of vengeance.
okay,
Um, there was one, particular moment that does stick out. There was one guy who had a change of heart a little bit.
okay,
He didn't want to kill me. He tried to help um my would have been stepmom, and then he tried to help me. And the last thing he said before I killed him, he said, have a lot of stains of my own. You still have time to change. I think he meant it, but then I killed him. So
okay, okay. Well, what do you think he meant by the stains comment? That sounds pretty intense of a situation. So,
he was a killer. He was he was kind of sad. He didn't want to kill more kids. He made some comments about that. No more kids. He
okay,
didn't want to do it. His heart wasn't in it, and it sounded like he had a lot of regret. Um, so he carried those deaths with him.
gotcha. So now, in turn, it sounds like he was showing remorse. Did we, um, what was your thought process before you took his life?
He was involved. He had to be killed.
Okay. Um, you may notice me writing some stuff down during this just to trigger my memory to uh, write up the assessment later. So I don't want that to throw you off any. And as of right now, like I said, you're doing great. I appreciate your, you know, truthfulness. Um, I know that in your current job, you see a lot, and I think that's why we do these assessments is just to, check in where your headspace is and, get an idea of, if there's something we can help you out with. So,
I
but
mean, I think I'm fine, but
and
if it's required.
yeah, I mean, and with big jobs like that, I mean, they didn't even want to tell me what agency it was. So I know that we're dealing with some pretty confidential stuff. So, like I said, we're what's said here stays here. We just want to make sure that everything's okay. So,
Oh
uh,
yeah, no, I'm confident my job won't let this get out. So
okay, okay. Well, I did want to hit back at something. In your emergency contacts,
mhm.
it just said uh Diego. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay. Who is Diego?
this is Diego. This
Oh,
is my best friend.
okay.
I'll kill people for him. I have.
Oh,
I've killed 4 people because they stole him. He
okay.
loves me. Yeah.
So he is definitely committed to
Yeah.
you for sure. Man's best friend, woman's best friend.
Mm.
So I
He's the only consistent that I have in my life.
okay, okay. And I'm seeing that with, what you've shared with me so far. Did Diego get to go with you after the situation with the Nazis?
Yes, I
Okay.
wasn't gonna go anywhere without my Diego.
I,
Diego's a good boy.
I didn't I didn't figure. I'm glad he's still with you. I'm glad he could come with you today. Um, is there anyone else as far as an emergency contact you would like for us to add, or we
No,
are we're gonna stick with Diego? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
my parents are dead. Miss Khan's dead. Diego's all I have. If I die, then I mean I'm no use to my job. That there's no emergency contact there, so it'll just be what it'll be.
Okay. So I kind of want to dive into what led up to getting you this job. Because it sounds like you have some pretty intense um episodes in your past, and um I guess my next question is, you said you hopped foster homes quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um, did any of them stick out as, you know, caring for you and, providing for you?
I mean they met my needs, the basic needs, shelter, food. Uh, they cared. They tried to build a relationship, but I don't need anyone but my fucking dog. Okay, I don't need people. Um, I got along well enough with them. I told them what they wanted to hear. I acted the way I should act. I was respectful enough, but at the end of the day, it wasn't it. They wanted to treat me like a kid. And that's what Miss Khan did differently. That's
Okay.
staying with her was the longest place I'd ever been. And that was my choice.
So you guys really connected that.
Yeah,
And it sounds like it was because she treated you like an adult. So, and I just from what you've told me and what I've read, you have had a lifetime of adult experience in before you're even 18. So, I in this session, in anything future that we do, I will definitely take note that you're only a kid in age. So I will respect that.
I
Uh,
appreciate it.
yeah. And that being said, um, like I've been saying, everything will stay confidential. You're not going to offend me with language. I've worked with many kids that have been in the foster system, and I want you to be comfortable in speaking with us. So please, you know, continue on with the truthful talk, and I'm going to keep asking questions, but just be straight up with me. I appreciate it.
All
So,
right. I just ask that you don't hospitalize me. I don't think I need that. I've been able to manage pretty well so far. I'm getting by. I've got a good job. It takes care of my needs, and I got Diego. I don't need to be hospitalized.
okay. Well, and that brings me to another good point of, have you ever been hospitalized in your past, or been diagnosed with anything that you know of?
No, I've never been hospitalized. They tried. They tried after my dad passed, but I know how to take care of myself. I know how to
Okay.
say what people need to hear to avoid things. So yeah, I didn't get hospitalized. I've been told that I need it or probably need it, but um, I don't. I've been able to manage and I've been able to process everything that's happened. And
Mhm.
so yeah, never been hospitalized, never been to therapy before. I don't have any diagnoses. I think I'm fine.
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair. So you don't take any medication or anything of that sort?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Um, And I know you had mentioned that you are not a fan of the idea of therapy, and I can respect that too. Of course, with the job you're entering, there may come a time that that may be helpful. Is that something that you would maybe consider in the future if you felt it was needed, if you felt it would help?
Mm, I don't know. Um, I mean, I train consistently, and that's how I take care of my mental health. So I don't feel like that's something that's going to be needed. Maybe cross that bridge when we get to it if we ever get there.
Okay. Okay. Well, when you say you train, what all does that entail for you?
Uh, like running. Um, what else do I do? Martial arts.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much those. Always have to be able to run, got to be fit, got to be able to defend myself. Uh, yeah.
It sounds like that has definitely benefited you.
hmm
Um, Kind of bouncing back a little bit to the situation with Miss Khan. Um, I know you had said you had stayed with her for quite a while. Um, do you know, can you tell me rather, what happened leading up to her passing and, who or what happened there?
Well, it's just kind of hard to talk about.
I completely
But
understand. Please just feel
yeah,
free that you're comfortable with sharing.
I was working in a diner. Some men came in and decided they were gonna be inappropriate and sexually harassing me and um, spilling coffee on them wasn't enough. I realized that that wasn't enough to take care of it. Um, but they decided to come after me
Oh,
and figured out where I was living. So they killed Miss Khan. I woke up next to her dead body, um, and they had kidnapped Diego. So
when
yeah.
you say that you woke up next to her body, um, do you not remember what happened, or how did that work?
Um, I mean, well, they killed her in front of me. Yeah. Um,
So you do remember that, but
yeah.
not what occurred after her death?
Mm, well, I mean, after that, I decided I had to go kill them.
Okay.
I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, they came in there. They caught us off guard. Tried to stop them, but unfortunately, they killed her and kind of passed out. Um, then when I came to, Miss Khan's body was there, and she was deceased, and I realized they had killed or kidnapped Diego, and yeah, then I went after them, and
Okay.
yeah, now they're dead, and Diego's back. See,
Well,
everything works out. I'm fine.
I'm glad Diego's back, and I'm glad you're okay. Um, when you say you went after them, um, is that a similar situation to what happened with the
The
Nazi
Nazis.
guys?
Yeah,
Okay. Did
yeah, I killed all those bastards, and they
okay,
deserved it.
okay, okay. And it sounds like they were some not good people. So I hate to hear the way that it went down, but I hate to hear the way that they treated you. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you don't sexually harass a 16-year-old girl while she's at work, and then you don't take no for an answer, and and then you come and you kidnap her dog, and you kill the lady who lives in the house, and they had to go. The world's a better place without him.
And it sounds like a lot. Goodness. Um, so how would you say you felt when you were actually able to track these people down and uh, take take care of them?
Proud.
Proud?
I like to think I'm pretty creative with the
Okay.
way that I, kill people.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and so yeah, each one had a different experience. So I really got to challenge myself and then didn't know what was coming, because it was different each time, so they couldn't be prepared. Felt
Okay.
very proud of myself, very vindicated.
Okay. When when you say creative, uh, would you say you had some thoughts about it beforehand, or did you just do what needed to be done? How did that work?
And, I work at a diner. Some people aren't so nice, they're just annoying. So yeah, I mean, I've had thoughts and come up with ways that kind of stuff could be carried out, but those people didn't deserve it, and so I didn't. Um,
Okay.
and so this was the opportunity to use some of those um, kind of plans I had come up with, and also that modified based on where we were at and stuff. So some of it was thought out, some of it was spur of the moment.
Okay. Okay. And now I will give credit. You said that the customers you didn't harm, you just thought about it.
Yeah,
That is that right? So unless you felt like they deserved it, they stayed thoughts. Is that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Not a not a psycho. I have
Oh,
you know impulse control or whatever.
no, I appreciate that. Like I said, I appreciate all the honesty. Um, now after they got a hold of Diego and you found them, um, I understand that they were after something. Um, I know they had mentioned that you have a keepsake that you hold on to. You care
Key.
to tell me about that?
It's my key. I found it at the lake house. The
Okay,
Nazi wanted it, and now it's mine.
okay. What what does the key mean to you?
Hmm. Independence, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, okay,
It kind of it unlocked another side of me.
okay, okay. And what would that side be?
Me able to take care of me and take care of Diego, and I've learned a lot, and I do a lot of training, and I live a pretty good life now. I think I got my GED, and I've been able to get a couple good enough jobs. Uh, yeah. So I've grown a lot and unlocked that really independent part of me.
Okay. Well, and it sounds like you do a lot mainly for yourself and Diego. So, um, just want to get into a few more just basic questions. Um, this next part is about substance use. Again, this is just general questions that we ask during these interviews, so don't the information goes nowhere unless somebody's in danger. So in the past 12 or so months, have you use tobacco products?
I don't do any of that shit. Uh,
Okay.
I've seen what it does to people, and I don't like it.
Okay.
Uh, my parents didn't use any. My mom didn't even use medication when she was suffering with cancer. My dad occasionally drinks some alcohol, um, but it was never in excess.
Okay.
Um, but the few times that I ran away from the foster homes and before finding Miss Khan, I've seen that stuff. I don't like what it does to people, and I need to be clear headed. I need to be prepared. Um, I got to be able to take care of myself in Diego. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't use any of it. Illegal, legal, whatever it is, none of it.
That is that is commendable, and I appreciate you sharing that with me. So just going down the checklist, you said no alcohol, no illegal substances like marijuana or anything like that.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you going through that with me. So next up, I will go through just some physical health questions. I know that you have said you train significantly, so um, everything checks out as far as physical health. I know that with some of the violent stuff in the past that you've been a part of, they had you do that CT scan, and we were able to kind of rule out any kind of traumatic brain injury, anything like that. I
Yep.
appreciate you cooperating with that as well. So physically, you would consider yourself pretty healthy?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any health issues or diagnosis. And I guess just there's the potential risk factor for breast cancer from my mom's side, but as far as I'm aware, other than that, I'm all good.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing the medical history with me. So no concerns that you're aware of as far as your dad's side is concerned?
No, no, as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I know we've gotten into a lot of pretty rough topics today, and like I've said, I appreciate your honesty and coming in. Like I said, I know it was a referral from your job, um, but basically, what I want to do now is just kind of go over some of the stuff you've shared with me, just make sure I understood right, and feel free to correct me if I'm mistaken in anything. Um, so what I have down is your mother passed from breast cancer when you were, I believe, 12 years old.
That's right.
Then the home invasion situation occurred, and um, that was when your father passed, and you unfortunately witnessed that. And then that was when you took um, the invaders' lives.
Five of them to be exact.
Okay, five of them.
Pretty embarrassing for them to die at the hands of a 14-year-old, but whatever.
Well, I mean that things did happen, and I mean they sounded like some pretty scary dudes, and you held your own. Um, I'm glad you're here with us and safe. Um, moving forward a little bit, we had your foster care stint. Um, according to the documents, we did not stay in those long. We're very independent.
Yep.
We met Miss Khan, and she treated you like an adult, which is how you've asked to be treated, and I respect that. Um, so unfortunately, she was murdered, and Mr. Diego was was taken, but you found them and um, took the lives of the guys that did it. So and retrieved Diego. So after that, my understanding that um, that was when the government contacted you. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. Okay. And I would say that's a pretty big deal to be involved in any government agency under the age of 18. Many of them don't even hire at 21. So that's,
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
quite impressive, quite impressive. So, now one thing I did want to wrap up with you on, is, uh, discussing maybe some future needs, future concerns. I know we said we weren't really interested in therapy services. I did, however, I wanted to share with you just from the information that you have shared with me today that there is potential that you meet criteria for a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder. Do you know what that is, or
A fancy way of saying I've seen too much and I'm not okay.
no? And that's not saying you're okay. People aren't their diagnosis, and they're definitely not their initial diagnosis. If it can show in a lot of ways, and I can see that you're a very strong, resilient person, but you know, sometimes even the most resilient of people, you know, could use some backup, could use some help. And I know that Diego is your go-to, and that's awesome. But with the job that you're starting, it sounds like there's more potential for even more what we call trauma. And we want to make sure that you're okay in every facet of your life. And if we can help, that's what we're here for. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Clear as mud. We'll take it.
I'll do it. If my job says that I'm required to do therapy, I'll do it.
Okay. Okay. Well, and that may very well be beneficial. But before we wrap up, I wanted to ask, and I always try to close these with this. Um, do we have any what I like to call coping skills that you would utilize that kind of keeps your head in the right headspace?
Yeah, I mean, I take walks with Diego. Like he
Yeah.
needs to go out. It's great for me. We get to be outside with the fresh air and sun. Um, I maintain a consistent, training schedule and working out.
Okay.
Um, and a fun fact about me is that I actually play the ukulele. Yeah.
Really?
So I enjoy that and learning some new songs.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
So you definitely have some healthy coping skills that we can utilize to, keep in the right headspace, because even the toughest, you know, people like yourself could definitely, always benefit from those escapes, from those positive escapes. So, um, I will tell you what, Miss Becky, I think we are about ready to wrap it up. I told you I wouldn't keep you super long, so I will wrap up this report and make sure that your new employer has the information, and like I said, everything else will remain confident. So no worries there. But I really appreciate you, taking the time to come see us and cooperate and being so truthful. So,
Of
uh,
course.
if if you would just meet with our lady at the front desk, and she will help get you checked out, and we will be in touch.
Alrighty. Thank you much.
Thank you.